As you walk through the valley of the shadow of hell, you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil. A veil that is beyond our own comprehension. Beyond the void.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void
Horror Podcast. Sorry, I was trying to swallow before you got to me.
Wait, what? Jesus.
He's too far away for that to occur right now.
I might put that at the beginning of the episode. She saw a fucking good movie, and she's all excited.
I was making awkward eye contact with Mouse while I screamed it.
Right. So it's episode 108, and today we're going to be talking about the brand new movie that just came out this past week, and that is Mandy.
Bum, bum, bum.
By Panos, and I've been saying his name wrong. I've been saying
Cosmatos.
Cosmatos.
I know, I thought they were saying it wrong.
Cosmatos. So, yeah, for those of you out there who are wondering, Brittany's taking pictures and confusing the shit out. But, yeah, we went to go to the theater literally just moments ago and just returned after a few cigarettes, and we're ready to go. So I hope you guys are ready. We also have a special guest here with us, and that is, of course, Mouse.
Hello.
Which is Brittany's better half.
Yeah. He is indeed.
But, yeah, so we're going to be talking about that today. So, but how have you guys been doing?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, now.
Yeah, I'm great now.
We were all so tired before we went to see the movie, too. Like,
I know, cue like 30 minutes from now and we'll be like,
I'm still tired.
Yeah.
oh, well, you've been up since 3 in the morning.
That's nothing. I'm just kidding. I've been up since like 11, so and I'm still tired. But yeah. So you haven't been doing anything new? Is your mom still here?
Yes.
She is. Okay.
Yeah, for like another week, I think.
Nice. We prepared a little bit this week by watching Beyond the Black Rainbow to give some sort of comparisons to the new movie that Panos Cosmatos actually did. So with Nicolas Cage and quite a few others. But I think it might be that time.
HORRORSHOTS!
All right, guys, so we came back with a good shot. Actually, we didn't know what we were going to do at first because, we never really think of these things till the day of, unless we're, like, really good. But we actually when we went to the Alamo Draft House to watch the movie, we actually saw that they had these, like, inspired specials. As some of you may know, they actually have, drinks that you can get, food that you can get. So they had like 2 themed things. One of them was cheddar goblin macaroni and cheese. And I was like, what the fuck is that all about?
And then it all made sense.
And then it all made sense when we saw the movie. But one of the drinks they had was called the Uncaged for Nick Cage, of course. And that one is Jägermeister, Tequila Blanco, Irish whiskey, sweet vermouth, and Fireball.
That sounds disgusting.
I know,
That's
and
like
I'm
a
like,
bad choice.
I get why all the ingredients are in there, but
Ew.
holy shit. So we had to give it to Alamo Draft House for the horror shot this week. I'll probably put their little logo in it just to make sure that they get a little credit there. So we did not come up with this, but in the spirit of horror shots, go fuck yourself.
Eat a dick.
Yeah, not Alamo.
Oh, yeah. Not you guys.
I would try it. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of ingredients. So, I mean, you got 5 different ingredients. So,
and they're all like
an Irish whiskey
a lot
with vermouth and Fireball. Jesus Christ. Anyway, if you guys would love to find out how to make an Uncaged, the Uncaged, all you have to do is go to longlivethevoid.com and check out our hashtag horror shot section now. Well, that's it for Horror Shots. All right, guys, so now we're going to go ahead and jump into the spoiler-free review of Mandy. And after that, we'll do our regular, we got some trivia and stuff that we got to see. And afterwards, we'll do our spoiler section for those of you who might have seen the movie, and we'll give you plenty of time to know when that takes off. So don't worry. But let's go ahead and jump into our flesh and potatoes
Right now.
All right, guys, we're back. So I don't even know where to start. Like, who's going to kick it off?
Mouse.
Mouse, you want to kick it off?
He's a visitor.
Why?
Why? Well, why don't you, Brittany?
Why?
You've been bubbling. Oh, yeah. Before I forget, though, this movie is actually out on digital now. So if you want to rent or buy it, you can actually do so at any one of your digital stores. But go ahead, Brittany.
Okay, so to me, this is in my top 5 of all-time favorite movies.
Really?
Hands down.
That's pretty big.
I'm obsessed with this movie completely. So, I don't know. This is completely in my lane. It's my wheelhouse. This type of film, not necessarily like revenge films, because that's exactly what this is, but I feel like it's this crazy fever dream of heavy metal and shenanigans, and there's like Hellraiser characters and violence and cool fucking weaponry, astonishing fucking visuals, you guys. Like, I cannot even begin to explain the fucking visuals. Like, I want to be completely and fully immersed in a movie, every single sense. I want just drowning, and it was.
And if you guys aren't sure what the story is about, just to give you kind of a heads up, Mandy is set in the primal wilderness of 1983, where Red Miller,
Sorry.
a broken and haunted man, hunts an unhinged religious sect who slaughtered the love of his life. So, spoiler alert? Jesus Christ, why don't you just tell us the whole fucking movie?
Well, I mean, they kind of essentially give that away in the preview.
I didn't know that.
In a way.
I didn't know.
I don't know. I knew where it was going.
But
Anyway,
continue on with what you're saying. I feel like we got to precursor that a little bit.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really all I gotta say. Is I was just completely, like, immersed in what was going on. And I felt like, and we talked about this a little bit, I feel like the first hour of this movie is definitely meant to weed out the people who are not going to like it.
Well, and I also think it's also to appeal to people who like Beyond the Black Rainbow as well.
For sure. But to me, I felt like it's completely necessary. Like, I didn't feel like this movie was too long. Mm-hmm. I felt like it wasn't long enough, which is weird for me to say, because 2-hour movies, usually I want to fucking shoot myself in the head. But this was... I felt like this could even went longer. They accomplished this fantastic chemistry between Nicolas Cage and Mandy, or Red and Mandy, essentially. And so you completely understand, his love for her and her love for him and their relationship and why it's important. They do a really good job of building up to the whole revenge plot, even though it is obvious from, the previews for this movie that it's a revenge movie. That's exactly what it is. And it, to me, it plays out exactly like how I imagined it was going to play out, in an odd order, kind of.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a lot.
It's a little jumbly as far as like the order that I anticipated them to do it, but at the same time I didn't care because it was fucking rad.
It is a roller coaster of different things going on there.
I will say, like, the only thing that I was disappointed with was I wanted them to give more time to the fucking Hellbikers.
Right.
Oh my god, they were so cool, and I wanted the lighting
black
on them.
Skulls.
I wanted the lighting on them to be a little bit better because I loved that aesthetic. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why.
But I wanted to see the fucking effects that they put on those characters because you
Right.
could just tell, and I'm like, I want to fucking cosplay that.
Yeah.
Like, so bad, and I can, like, the one character in particular I feel like would be, it's not going to be easy to duplicate, or replicate or whatever, but it'll be a fun challenge, but I can kind of see, like, the direction that they were heading in a little bit. I don't know, it was really cool. It was very Hellraiser-esque, it reminded me, we were talking to, months ago, of, the Plague. from Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah.
And then like it's those kinds of elements. It was super fucking cool. And then discovering who they actually are and why they are the way that they are,
right,
was a really cool like little plot twist in a way too.
What about you, Mouse? How do you feel about this film?
I really liked it.
Yeah, like how much? I mean, are you like her, where it's like way over the top for you? Like you're just like, wow.
I'm not sure I have a ranking of movies. I'm not sure where to put it, but I did really like it.
Yeah, would it be one of your top movies this year?
Oh yeah, definitely for this year at least.
Yeah. Do you think there was any boring parts, or do you feel like it's like?
No, I liked all of it.
Really? Okay. I'm a big fan of it too. I mean, I feel like it's weird because I've been mentioning the Mom and Dad thing, the movie with Nicolas Cage, and like seeing this like is more in line with what I like. But also the goofiness is also kind of more in line with me too, and Mom and Dad has that a little bit. I'm not saying these are completely different movies.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they're not anywhere like close to each other, but I just keep tossing that around in my head. But guys, if you are a metal fan, I'm just going to tell you this right now. If you are an old school metal fan that grew up in the 80s as a kid or grew up later on to be a big metalhead, whatever, this is going to be literally heavy metal jumping off the page into a fucking movie. And anybody that's probably within the 40s range to 30s, I think is a sweet spot, I think. But I don't think it's just for those people. But I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna.
Range.
No, of course. But you're closer to the 30 mark.
Shut up.
But I'm just saying, like if you are a metal fan, you're really going to appreciate this because it is very fantasy oriented.
Oh, and this fucking
so many elements, like how they hold things. Like even in the trailer, I got that too, where he's like crafting that fucking weird sword axe thing.
So dope.
It's like I was like, just like everything is like an aesthetic of those kind of like paintings that you would see in like heavy metal or
yeah, it's so 80s.
Or like any
cover.
of your, like Dio and shit like that.
It's so perfect to me. And I'm not even a big fan of like 80s metal by any means.
Right,
like,
well.
But I love that aesthetic. Like that whole, the whole look. And it's like one of my favorite South Park episodes is when Kenny's riding the fucking, what is it? Is it like a dragon or some shit with the chick with the big old titties? Like when they're shooting the cat pee in their face and getting high or whatever. Have you seen that episode?
Yes, I know
it's so good.
Well, they're playing off of heavy metal.
I know.
Cheesing.
Yeah.
And it cheesing. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah,
It's
the
called
cheesing, yeah.
The cheesing. But I love like that whole like and then heavy like that's what it is to me. I don't know.
It is heavy metal.
Dope ass movie and the fucking art in it too, like the little art, like the drawings and shit in there. Ugh.
If you're into fantasy metal, like
This
those
is-
bands
you're
and
gonna jack
stuff,
off.
you're gonna have an orgasm all over this fucking movie, and I think it's gonna appeal to those people more. But I still think with all the like, this is a pretty gory film, guys.
I didn't think it was
And I thought,
gory enough.
to be honest, like I thought Nicolas Cage was going to steal the show, but it turns out, in my opinion, that I feel like that Linus Roach,
Yeah.
who plays this like guy named Jeremiah Sand in it, that we'll get into in the spoiler section, really did a good job.
Agreed.
He was genuinely fucking creepy. This guy was in like Riddick. He was in Batman Begins. He's done quite a few things. He's a pretty talented actor, and man, there's a scene we'll talk about in the spoiler section that Brittany missed out on, and something that she always talks about in this fucking episode.
I'm fucking mad. I'm so pissed about it, you guys.
Do you guys like, okay, so to give you guys kind of an idea also, the movie starts off very typical like your Beyond the Black Rainbow style, like really slow pacing camera, lights, like very aesthetic. Like there was a lot more talking in this than Beyond the Black Rainbow for sure. Like literally within the first 10 minutes might be more than anything that was said in Beyond the Black Rainbow, which is more just like a visual jerk off thing.
It's building the story. So that's something that I really appreciate with his aesthetic and his direction is he takes his time to build up his stories. He takes his time to build relationships with characters, whether that comes across as too slow to people or not. He doesn't care. Like, he wants his vision to come through, and he wants everybody to kind of be able to understand it in a way. When I felt like that was more relatable, it was more relatable here than it was with Beyond the Black Rainbow, for sure.
I think
because I still don't know what the fuck I saw, like what the fuck I was watching in that movie.
I kind of do know what happened in the movie. I mean, there's a couple of things that I'm like,
I've gone back on it, and I'm like, okay, like I get it sort of, but like the general premise behind that movie I understand, but I don't know. I think he's one of those like directors that you can't take anything or go too literal with it. Otherwise, you're just not. It's not gonna make any fucking sense to you. Like, you just have to let go, and
he's more about a vibe.
Open up your mind.
This is a guy who is inspired. Like, he said, like, one of his top 2 movies that inspired him was like
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2, and then the other one was not Last Shift. After Hours. We just looked it up, but yeah, I don't even know if I've seen it. I think they even had a poster in the fucking hallway of the fucking.
I think they did.
You know what I mean? In the fucking Alamo, but yeah, it's interesting though to see like that he chose Evil Dead 2. Because it's the camera work that he said that he was like really,
which I get,
which totally makes sense when you watch these movies that he has, because they're like perfectly set up.
Oh, I was dying over it the entire time. I was literally just sitting in his chair, just like,
yeah.
Every shot is so fucking perfectly planned out. It's incredible. Like, and he's basically working in a lot of these scenes. They're working in just darkness. And he's able to manipulate the lights and the camera in certain ways to where certain things are illuminated when they should be, and it looks so fucking badass. And I don't know, I'm a visual person, so I was just blown the fuck away.
Yeah, I think, and by the way, guys, this is a gory film, so you're not going to have to worry about that. The characters, the creature type people, like Hellraiser like things, are pretty fucking cool. I was really into those, that the individuality of each of those, because I wasn't really sure if they were supernatural or not at some points.
Right, like I thought they were like hell demons.
It kind of, it really rode the line, and it was really fun. I mean, overall, like Brittany said, it is a revenge story. So if you're into revenge stories with like an insane amount of atmosphere, beautiful artistic direction of some sort, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is, for some of you that don't like slow burns in the beginning, it might be a little long for you, and like she said, it might weed you out a little bit, but I think if you hang in there for at least to halfway through the movie, it's a 2-hour movie, you're gonna be pleased, because they kind of like change the tone all of a sudden.
They really do. It's like a switch,
wasn't it? It was like, I was like, what the fuck?
It was just, I don't know, like I feel like you could almost tune in 40 minutes-ish into the movie and then just enjoy it from there, but then you're not gonna get the full grasp of what's happening. You know, like... Well,
yeah, you gotta make the revenge feel.
That first half of the movie is so important. Like, I get that to a lot of people it might be slow.
Right.
And it might take a while to get there, but to me, I felt like it was so necessary to the story. So you really, like, resonate with Red. And you understand his viewpoint, and you understand where he's at. Like, I mean, fuck. Like, if someone did that to Mouse in front of me, you bet your fucking ass I would go after them.
Right.
And I felt the exact same way. I'm just like, fuck the police.
Well,
like,
what do you do? It's either...
I'm a forge a fucking weird-ass axe sword thing and then go kill people.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
And the cult, the sect, the, like, crazy,
they're
like,
horrible.
hippies.
They're so creepy.
It is pretty... But there's...
I wanted more of them.
I laughed quite a few times, though.
Oh, the derpy one? Because the derpy one killed me.
A bunch of different points. It wasn't necessarily, like, intended to be funny. It was just funny in some respects. Not like, this is stupid. But I will say, like, I really feel like some of this movie is... It's weird. It's kind of like what a movie with an independent film director when they get a budget. Like, what they can do with a budget. And I think it pushes, that's one thing I really like about indie films, is that they try to push the boundaries a little bit more than like mainstream, where it's all calculated and the Nun, and like everything's in order in its perfect little space.
Right.
Like
it's overthought.
Yeah, it's overthought. And instead of just like going for some sort of artistic direction, and like it kind of takes the art out of it. And that's why I wonder what's going to happen with Panos, and I hope he stays with I wouldn't say that he's the best writer in the world.
Oh, he's not going to win any fucking awards for screenplay writing.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like,
No.
it's not the best. It's so fucking juvenile. Like,
No.
like the jokes. That's what I'm getting to. It's so like frat boy juvenile jokes, you know, like the little things that he writes in there. And it's not this like fantastic fucking like, you know, dialogue between characters, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's such an afterthought to me. Like, I don't give a fuck what they're talking about. I don't care. You know, the jokes are funny.
Well, when you're going for a movie that is just specifically to be somewhat atmospheric, I thought for sure that Panos was going to say, because by the way, guys, after the movie was done, they had a Q&A, well, not a Q&A, but Kevin Smith came out and interviewed Linus, Roche, Nicolas Cage, and Panos himself, and it was pretty funny.
That was cool.
But they were like asking all these questions. I'm really surprised that he picked Evil Dead 2 and After Hours of all the fucking movies, because in my mind, after watching Beyond the Black Rainbow, the first thing that came to my mind was like, this is like in the vein of like Cronenberg.
Yeah. Well, to me, when we watched Beyond the Black Rainbow, like it's made me think of, which are movies that I'm pretty positive these movies came out afterwards, like quite a bit after Beyond the Black Rainbow. But to me, it made me think of Ex Machina and Neon Demon.
Okay.
Like those are movies that in my head, I'm just kind of like, holy shit, these are kind of like the same kind of concept, or not concept at all, but I mean like the same kind of vision.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Beyond the Black Rainbow came out before either of those two movies.
You might be right, but I don't think it was inspired in any way.
I don't think so, but like that's what they made me think of.
Right.
And
Beyond the Black Rainbow for me is Cronenberg. Like,
yeah.
Because like a lot of people who love Cronenberg go, man, I wish he would make a Cronenberg film again. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that he's not good at what he does. It's just like people miss stuff like Videodrome, Naked Lunch.
Right.
Even Existenz, like I would love to see some sort of mind melt fucking movie like that. And Cosmatos, yes. He actually has that. There's something about him, and Beyond the Black Rainbow and this movie share that existential, like, drug-induced, like, fucking
fever dream.
Talking to God in, like, the darkest way and coming back, like, fucked up from it. Because, like, Beyond the Black Rainbow is like that, and this one is very much like that. But it's weird because the movie tonally shifts to something that's a little bit more, I don't want to say schlocky, I just want, like, it's more genre.
Right.
It's more like...
It's not so art house, it's more of a genre specific film in the
anybody
second half.
that thinks that he was pretentious for making Beyond the Black Rainbow, you can cancel that shit because this is not going to be that fucking movie.
You're right.
I'm telling you, you will be like, holy shit, this is kind of like an indie, you know...
It's so fucking cool. And I'll tell you what he accomplished with this is he took something so fucking basic, a basic ass concept as a revenge film that's been done a million fucking times in a million different ways, and he took it and he made it fucking unique.
Well, and I really like the elements that they put in there. Like
it is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Sorry,
besides them coming out of the ground like fucking demons, they were really kind of unique. Like I thought they were trying to bite off of Hellraiser a little bit when I saw the trailer.
In the trailer, yeah, you know, and that's. I felt the same way. I was just like, okay, so why they got a pinhead looking motherfucker? Like, what are we doing here?
Right.
But at the same time, I don't fucking care because I love shit like that.
Right.
I love creepy ass fucking characters that make you go, what the fuck is that? What am I looking at? What are they gonna do?
It dances on the line though.
It does, but they feel like these crazy, weird hell demon beast, like unearthly, unnatural, shouldn't exist, like they're just weird fucking creatures, but then
don't
I'm not gonna get to that point.
Okay,
I'm not right now, but I'm just saying, but then you find out something different about them and it makes a weird amount of sense, but then it's still, like I said earlier, like you can't take things too literally here. Like you have to go in with an open mind and an open heart with his movies, I feel like in general.
Right.
From these films, like I'm like, you can't, anything's possible and you have to believe that. You can't go in thinking like, that can't happen, that would never happen, that's not realistic.
Well,
because then it's going to ruin it for you.
Yeah, and then the story kind of changes a little bit. Like typically you would figure like, well, if it's a revenge film, he's got to go through all these people. Well, like the order was different.
The order was way off to me, and I was like the end was the way it should have been.
Right.
But leading up to that point, I was like, you're going backwards.
Right. And I was like, in my mind, I was thinking like, did we mention this already? But like Christina mentioned, she said, it kind of reminded me, and I don't think it reminds me of this at all, but I think I know where she was going, is she said it reminded her of Lords of Salem in a way. And I was like, I could see that because I was thinking Rob Zombie the whole time, not because it's his same style. It'd be like if Rob Zombie got handed a paintbrush and decided to paint instead, where
no, I
Rob
don't
Zombie's
agree.
a little more ham-fisted, I think. No offense to him, I'm just saying, like...
He's nowhere near as visionary as Panos is. Like, well,
Right.
we'll put it that way.
He's
like,
still good, I'm
he's
just
amazing.
saying, yeah.
Lords of Salem,
That was bad.
like, sorry. Mouse loves that fucking movie.
I loved it.
I can't get into it.
He loves that movie.
The only thing reputable about that, or even redeemable from that, is the fucking track, the song.
Yeah, well,
it just sticks in my
the
head.
visuals to me in that movie are beautiful.
Right.
And so that's where I can kind of see what she's talking about when she says that, is because it is kind of, finger on the pulse is like very similar in certain aspects from Lords of Salem into the lighting elements and stuff for this movie.
Right.
And the overall feel, because Rob Zombie's movies all have the same overall 80s
It's
metal kind
right.
of feel.
Well, it's like his
Because
friends.
that's him.
Yeah, it's like his friends.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And he loves that culty sort
Yes,
of like
he fucking does.
family vibe, like gone wrong. So, I mean, there is a lot of parallels that you could find there, but I think that's just from growing up at around the same time.
I agree.
I think Rob Zombie's a little bit older than Panos,
Yes.
but so he comes
But
from
that
like,
was his teenage years, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like teenage, like early 20-ish era for him. So it's a little bit different.
Dude, I like what Rob Zombie has done. He's not perfect. A lot of people are either fans or not fans of him. I'm in the middle. I'm cool with him most of the time, but
I can see where Christina's coming from
But
with
yeah,
that comment.
I really feel like there is a Rob Zombie element, and that is because of the metal aspect that is in this movie. For fuck's sake, they opened the movie with King Crimson. Like,
Can we talk about the fucking soundtrack for this movie? Like
Oh.
holy shit.
Johan Johansson.
The fucking score for
Yeah.
this movie is out of this fucking world.
Right. They even had Krang on here, who has done music for Cooties. I forget what other movie he did. Oh, no, that was Rob. I can't think of it. But yeah, he did music for Cooties, which is actually a really good soundtrack if you get to listen to it. But yeah, Johan Johansson, who apparently just recently passed away directly after he finalized the score for this movie. And man, it is really good.
So good. And that was heartbreaking in that interview at
Right.
the end, because you could tell that Panos was really getting choked up when he tried to move on.
Right.
And when I watched him after that, after they moved on to another question, I was watching him that whole time, and he was fighting back like emotion.
Yeah, like Kevin Smith's like, anyway, so...
Yeah, because he could tell. And, he's like, I'm about to make this guy fucking cry in front of all these people. And, and
Change the subject, change the subject.
And Panos was sitting there just kind of like reflecting,
We'll get
broke
into
my
more
heart.
of the trivia though when we after this section. But what did you think of the music, Mouse? Since you're the music guy, come on.
It was great.
Did it have any vibe or elements that you liked about it that you could compare?
I don't really know what to compare it to. It was.
Have you seen the movie Devil's Candy?
Which one is that?
You've watched it. It's on Netflix.
Like the metal.
Yes.
Something.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't.
Oh,
seen
he hasn't
it
watched it yet because I want to watch it.
Well, it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Just because they have like guitar in it, and they also do synth. It's like very unique. That's what I liked about it.
It's sort of like an ongoing rolling through the whole movie kind of thing.
Right.
It tells the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah, it fits. Like it's like, I don't know. He's so fucking smart. Like every choice that he makes fits perfectly. It's like this crazy puzzle that he puts together, and like the music score from start to finish all tells the story together at the same time, and everything fits right. Sorry, I feel like that's what you're trying to say, but
Yes.
I loved it.
but you were looking at me like,
They have a couple of tracks now up on like Spotify and I think at other places that you could get, but I don't know if they're going to put the whole thing together. It's got like King Crimson. They had one from Krang and some other song, and then like the rest was done by Johan. And man, it really is, like you said, it is very much throughout, it's very prominent throughout the whole fucking movie, because they'll have like talking segments, and then while they're even talking, the music is kind of like going, and it's a little abnormal for most, I think, movie watchers, I think, and it's very prominent, so you can tell that that fucking Panos just fucking
Yeah.
adored it.
But it fucking works.
Right, because like normally they're like, can we talk that back a little bit? We need to hear what they're saying.
Like,
you know?
I could have completely gone and sat through this entire movie with no fucking dialogue and not cared.
It is
I'm not
pretty good.
gonna lie. Like, to me, like, I felt like the music tells the story without there needing to be any conversation back and forth with any of the characters. And there's not a whole lot of it. Like, the dialogue's pretty sparse in this movie, I feel like. It's a lot of action and not a lot of talking.
It's spread out.
Yeah, it's really spread out.
The very beginning, I mean, they have these really long talking sections.
Oh, my God.
But it's very, very articulated and very, like, poignant, and, like, you know, they're developing the characters, Mandy and Red, and,
Yeah,
you know.
and I can't wait till we talk about spoilers, because one of my favorite scenes is like one of those scenes where they're just having a conversation.
It's really unique. The characters are really unique. The actors are very unique. All of the ways that they did everything, super unique. I was not expecting the movie to go where it went, like it did, I guess. I mean, I guess it's pretty understandable where it went, but I mean, tonally, I was confused a little bit. Not confused in a bad way, like confused in a good way, like, because I kind of needed it. Like, I was like, all right, yeah, like, I like this. This is all great shit, but then when it kind of pops off, it's so weird. It's like they took, like, the schlocky genre horror and then shoved it into pretentious, like, yeah, it's so weird. It's like the weirdest combination, but it really works. So
It really does.
But yeah, man, I mean, so who do you think was the best role in the whole fucking movie? What do you
Favorite
guys think?
character?
Favorite character?
Go Mouse. Or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
My favorite character is Mandy, and I wanted more of her.
Really? Okay.
I fucking loved her. Like, I'm sorry, she's just, and I wanted more of Mandy. Like, and it's hard for me to choose, kind of, because I liked Jeremiah Sand as well. Even though he's such a fucking creep, he's cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody loves Nick Cage.
I thought
but
everybody in the cult was really good, but yeah.
everybody in the cult was great.
Everybody's good.
But I loved Mandy. Like, she wasn't in it enough for me, but she didn't, like, the amount she was in it was perfect. And I thought she was this cool fucking chick. And, like, I want to be her. I want to hang out with her. Like,
Well, yeah, because she's like sporting Motley Crue
she's so
shirts.
fucking cool. She has my favorite Black Sabbath shirt.
Black
the one
Sabbath,
that
yeah.
she gets spotted wearing. Like, that's my favorite Black Sabbath shirt that I
Right.
still own. One of the only t-shirts I own is that one. And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
What about you, dude?
I have no idea. I don't know if I have a favorite character. I just liked the whole thing as a whole.
well,
Really?
who like,
Who's-
which character stood out to you the most?
Right.
As far as, like, who, not necessarily, like, you personally resonated with more, but who did you feel like you enjoyed the most watching on the screen? Like, who did you have the most fun with?
Nick Cage, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Red.
Yeah.
He's fucking dope. So.
Oh, and I think Nick Cage did a great job. I just think I was not expecting how good Linus Roche was going to be. So, I mean, I've said it before, but yeah.
And Kevin
was
James said what I thought.
Genuinely creepy.
Kevin Smith.
You wanted to punch him and like,
But you also want to follow him.
yeah, like
I want to follow him. Like, I want to do drugs with them.
the way he articulated his lines, I wonder
brilliant.
if Panos actually let him run with it a little bit. We have some trivia on that.
I felt like quite a bit of it was very ad lib kind of improv.
Okay, yeah,
the
well,
moment.
it felt very like, dude, that guy is a really good actor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but yeah, guys, I really think that I think it's worth seeing. Is it going to be for everybody? Probably not. But
Everyone should see it.
I think everybody should see it to make their own decision for it. But if you had to give it a score, just out of curiosity, what would you
Out
give
of
it?
10?
Yeah.
Go Mouse. What's your score? How many out of 10?
17.
So if we round that in half, that will be 8.5.
8.5. I don't know. I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a flat out 10 out of 10 to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean-
like I said, my only issue, well, I guess two-ish issues to me was I wanted more of Mandy, but it makes sense why I didn't have her, and I wanted more of the fucking, like, Hell Demon biker characters, because they were fucking cool.
I think I should mention that if you're looking for like this really in-depth story,
Oh, that's not.
this is not going to be a 10 movie for you.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for like an aesthetic, vibey,
So
atmospheric,
Let's break this down then.
gory,
So
fun
we'll
ride.
do atmosphere, visual,
10.
gore, 10.
Yeah.
Right? Story,
Like
dialogue.
5 or
I
pretty
would give
standard.
it like a solid, probably like
6.
7.
6 or 7.
Yeah, between 6.5 and 7.
I think it's like a 6, but it didn't need to be.
It didn't need to. Like I said earlier, I could watch this movie with no fucking dialogue and it wouldn't matter. So I would suck his dick for this movie.
It's a ride. It's a ride.
So
you don't
good.
necessarily need to be stopped every 5 seconds
It was
to
incredible.
tell the story.
And I can't fucking wait for people to see it because I want to have conversations about this movie.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be harsh for those of you who are like hypercritical about me saying there's no story. I'm just saying,
No, there's a story.
like typically, like some movies ride on their story, some ride on their atmosphere, some do all of the above.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't give it a perfect score, like, you know what I mean? So I would probably be more in the camp of like 9.
I think if I had to average it out, I would give it a 9 out of 10.
I mean, honestly,
have to average.
just because, like, you could have had some death, but then again, you would have been taking away from the atmosphere because it's kind of like a, you know, it's a tug and pull a little
Right.
bit. You know what I mean? Like, Hereditary had a really good atmosphere and a really good story
And a really
too.
good story.
So, I mean,
But this trumps Hereditary to me.
right? There's more scenes in this that resonate with me because of the fandom I have for the underground genre. And I think that, you know, like I said before, this is a perfect example of what happens when a independent director with a vision gets a lot of money. And it should continue that way. And I hope that he gets to do that.
He took me through all the emotional stages, so I'm happy about it. I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I was happy, I was sad, I was fucking pissed off. like, I went through everything. Like, I don't know, it was just brilliant. He's a brilliant fucking director.
Yeah, I think, he's one of my favorites.
Brilliant.
I mean, like of the newest ones.
I cannot fucking wait to see what he does next. I am over the fucking moon ecstatic about it. Like, even if this was his last movie that he ever made, cool.
Right.
Like, you went out with a bang, dude, because this movie is fucking incredible.
Right.
But I am so excited, and we were talking about that a little bit, and I would be really stoked if he went in science fiction.
I'm pretty sure this is going to be in my top 5. Like, I don't think there's a question about it. Like,
Oh, for the year?
Yeah.
When we do our review, this is in my top 5.
yeah.
For sure.
I don't
This
know-
is in my top 5 of life in general movies.
Right.
So this is definitely in my top 5. This might be my favorite movie of
By the end of the year, I'm going to rewatch all the movies that I think are in my top 5, and then I'm going to judge them based on which one I think is number 1, and the rest will just be in any order.
Yeah, I will say so far, this is in contention with Hereditary for my top movie from 2018.
I think it's going to be, I think this movie for Panos, if you're a mainstream viewer, this will be an easier movie to reach out for, to get into him, more than Beyond the Black Rainbow,
Oh, God, yeah.
to be fair. So,
Beyond the Black Rainbow is an acquired taste
right.
by far, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. I love the visual aspects of it, but I was confused a little bit, and I had to go back and like rewatch certain things and read further into it to kind of understand the story.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, I really think it's a good movie. I think you should see it. I think all of us here really appreciated the movie.
Can we get into spoilers now?
Again, we will. We're going to get into
Yay.
trivia here now. So this might be a little spoilery for you. So if you guys are or have not seen the movie, don't listen. Like, seriously, I just
Don't listen, then yell at us
like,
for it.
yeah, just why ruin the movie for you? I know some of you actually do like to hear stuff even, and you don't care if it spoils for you, but trust me, watch the movie, come back. It'll be a much more enjoyable experience for you if you come back and listen to it after you've seen it. So now we're going to get into some of the trivia. So we'll go ahead and sound off the spoiler alarm right now just to cover our asses so you guys know. And we'll do that right now.
Please do not listen to this if you have not seen the movie. That's right, please do not listen after this. If you have not seen the movie, you will indefinitely ruin your experience. Thank you, and have a nice apocalypse.
So what we'll do now is we'll kind of go over some of the trivia. Now, first off, just to preface the movie here for you guys, this movie went to Cannes Film Festival, had a 5-minute standing ovation for it. It sold out every festival, everywhere, anywhere it went. So it's obvious that this movie is a pretty big one. And some of the stuff that they talked about in the Q&A with Kevin Smith and everything at the end, we're going to probably talk about that now. One of the things that I thought was really interesting is that Kevin Smith asked him, like, you know, where did you go to resonate, like, some of this, like, character development because they're so strong? Like, with Linus Roche, who plays Jeremiah Sand, he said that he had a sort of an upbringing around a lot of religious people. He was like none as batshit crazy as I fucking made this guy. But he actually had a lot of interest with that, with like Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage was actually supposed to be playing Jeremiah Sands' character.
That's what I found the most interesting, is that like Panos originally had Nicolas Cage in mind to play Jeremiah Sand.
Right, because he thought he would be really good at the thing.
But he had this whole idea of age versus, like, old versus young was the dynamic that he had going on between Red and Jeremiah Sand.
Right.
And so then, you know,
at the time, Nicolas Cage had like, he was saying he looked like
Gandalf.
he looked like Gandalf because he had like
I had
long
my full
gray
Gandalf
hair.
on, like, for the role he was in. Yeah.
Right.
He had a full, like, gray beard and long hair or whatever, and hilarious. But I thought that was crazy to me, because I'm just like, they play their parts so well. Like, I can't imagine Nicolas Cage trying to be Jeremiah Sand.
No.
I can't picture it. Like, I'm sure he could probably do it, but I don't feel like he would do it as well.
I think it was the right choice. I think he made the right choice. Part of the reason he said, by the way, guys, that he didn't want to do Jeremiah Sand is that he had been dealing with a lot of loss, and the character of Red Miller, who is, you know, obviously loses Mandy through this whole cult sect bullshit, and he basically said that dealing with the loss of his father, dealing with the loss of a relationship,
his third marriage failing.
That was, you know, basically why he felt like he could resonate with the character Red. So he was like, and the funny thing is that the only reason he heard about this movie was because of Elijah Wood, who they were working on another project together, and he was like, hey, have you ever seen Beyond the Black Rainbow? And he was like, yeah, it's been some time, but
That's so perfect, Nick Cage.
you know, he's very
It's been some time, but I remember really liking that.
And then I watched it. No, I'm just kidding.
He's my fucking spirit animal. I fucking love Nicolas Cage so much.
He is mine too, and I freak out.
He's insane. Like
when I flip out, I imbibe his fucking anger.
But he's just a genius. Like, I don't know. Like, he's just so smart, and I love.
He's able to push the limits
out there, man.
Yeah.
Like, he is spacey. He's a space cadet if I've ever seen one. But he's still so fucking articulate, and I love it. I love listening to him talk.
Right. What was something that Panos was talking about? If you guys don't know this, like, if you've seen Beyond the Black Rainbow, it takes place in 1983. Okay, this movie, Mandy, takes place in 1983. and he even said that some people would ask him, like, what happened to you in 1983?
Yeah,
and he was
why
like,
1983?
He's like, nothing. I was sitting on the fucking floor watching He-Man cartoons while playing. Like, that's what happened to me at 83. So like everybody thinks, but they all think it's like some like somebody got murdered in front of him while he's playing G.I. Joes or something.
Yeah, everybody's gonna try and make something, you know, like, no, it's just a year.
I mean,
it fits with the stories that he's trying to tell.
But the characters that he makes are pretty fucked up.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, they're dark.
They really are, so I can get it. They're just like, so your family got murdered in front of you in 1983, right? Like, that's why you're a fucking weirdo.
Right,
and you make these weird movies, like, that's what you're like.
Which is so funny.
Like, no, he's just a fucking visionary.
I agree. Like, it is stupid when people think that.
It is. It's annoying.
It's like I've mentioned many times before. Like, I had one of my friends who I've known forever who just was like, "Oh, you believe in rape fantasies? You get off on that." I was like, what?
The hell are you talking
like,
about?
what the fuck are you? He's like, you like horror movies. That's how I know. And then he just blocked me, and I've never spoken to him again.
That
I'm
whole
like,
fucking conversation pissed me
I'm
off.
like, are
so
you
much.
serious? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
I know, and I remember you telling me that because you sent me this whole thing. Like, we had this whole in-depth conversation about it. Like, when he said this shit to you, because you were just like, can I talk to you about something? This is before I think I joined.
Great, like, guys. Granted, like, sending a message out in a movie can be life-changing for people, no matter what the message is. So sometimes I feel like you might want to have a little bit of responsibility with how you actually convey that message. But in the same respect, it's also not real life. So most of the people that like horror, as you guys who are listening know, are pretty well adjusted. Now, there is one thing I did want to bring up, and that is Dick. And Brittany, as you all probably know,
for me,
she loves Dick in film. And
I love Dick in general.
Yeah. Wow. You hear that, listeners?
Wiener.
Whip him out. No, don't do that.
Do it.
No, don't.
Whip him out.
Brittany, you're gonna get fucking all kinds of
Don't
weird
send them
shit.
to me. Send them to the Beyond the Void Horror Podcast Facebook page.
Oh, I'm cutting that out. There is no fucking way, dude. So Brittany loves dick, and of all the fucking times to go take a piss or a shit, she fucking walks out on the glorious dick scene.
Okay.
That Linus just flashes his dick proudly.
We're going to talk about this. All right. So, this fucking place that we went to, this is your fault for taking me somewhere that serves alcohol. Okay?
I didn't make you drink.
It's your fucking fault. You did it. That's all I'm saying. So, I'm like, this is a 2-hour fucking movie. And it's probably like 40 minutes in, and I'm just like, fuck, I gotta pee. Like, I gotta fucking pee. Like, I'm just sitting there, and I keep doing this, like, shuffle around in my chair to, like, try and get my bladder comfortable so I'm not miserable. And I'm like, I can do it. And then I'm like, I can't fucking do it anymore. I can't do it. And I look at Mouse, and I'm just like, wish me luck.
Dude,
as
soon as you left, I was like, oh no. I was like, I can't believe she left.
Well, the moment that I left in, they were just talking, and they'd been talking.
Yeah, but it was a good scene. That whole thing where the guy was talking.
Yeah, but I was like,
really.
I know, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? It's been 3 solid minutes of basically the same conversation, and at this point, I can make it to the bathroom and back before anything happens.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I had to pee. Like, I had to fucking pee, or I didn't want to miss anything that came literally 5 minutes after
So when she came back, did she ask you what happened?
I did. I said, did I miss anything important? He goes, no.
Well, I didn't want to talk during the movie.
Right, because they're so strict at Alamo.
They actually are. Yeah, it's crazy. When I walked out to go to the bathroom, the dude was telling the manager about someone in our theater that complained about someone else.
Really?
And I was like, are you fucking kidding? Like, no, I can't hear anyone. It's so fucking loud in there, for one. Like, how the fuck do you hear anybody?
Alamo's pretty strict.
But they are, and I love that. Like, that made me happy, because I was like,
well, that's me, too, because, like, when I watch a movie, I lock in. I don't like to be interrupted.
Who are fucking talking and laughing and being fucking annoying. That's why I hate going to the movie theaters. Like, I hate humans.
We got to talk about, like, one of the things that Kevin Smith asked. First of all, guys, if you want to know, Kevin Smith is an ultra fan of this movie, by the way. But I think one of the funniest things he asked is, like, what character would you want to play if you could go back? And Nicolas Cage picked Captain Nemo from Jules Verne, which Kevin Smith had, like, an orgasm about, I guess.
It was hilarious. I don't know. Him, like, talking about that was so funny. Like,
he was like, I've always been a fan of the sea.
I knew I loved the sea before I loved my mom and dad.
At the age of 2?
Yeah, at the age of 2, before I loved my mother and father.
That's what he said. He really did.
I knew I loved the sea, and everybody's like, what?
I think what he meant by that, though, and we kind of discussed this a little bit already, is that he's just a conquest. It's a conquest to go and venture and explore the world. What else can we tell about Panos? To give you guys kind of an idea about Panos, the guy's, like, clearly knows. I mean, whether he knows what he's doing or not, he's doing it right. So he's probably one of those people that are just like, well, I just made a movie. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like, I prepare by putting these oils and liniments on my feet, and, you know, sometimes I do a cartwheel 3 times before I shoot a shot, or he's nothing like that.
No, he's like one of us.
Dude, he's like so a very kind of quiet, kind of nerdy guy in a way, which is kind of cool. He's a metalhead, obviously. Him and fucking Kevin Smith were wearing slip-ons.
Same shoes,
yeah,
just different styles.
He had red checkerboard slip-ons, Panos did, and then Kevin Smith had yellow slip-ons, which I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Vans. In case you guys didn't catch on, when I went to the bathroom and I missed it, it was dick all over the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no one felt like it was important enough to tell me that I missed dick.
Oh, it was,
which is what I talk about.
You figure you'll have to wait till it comes out now.
No, I'm so sad. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I was going to tell you later. I just didn't want to tell you.
Yeah, well, it came up in the fucking Q&A. He's just like, so, like, when you read the, he's like, that's why you said no, right?
Well, that's an interesting story we could tell. He was like, Kevin Smith asked Linus, he was like, hey, so when you saw the script for this, were you just like, yeah, I would like to do a dick scene, like just full on showing my dick,
just full on, just like let it out free into the world, and then jack off proceeding after that moment,
right?
And he was like, no. Like, you know, when I read the script, it's not something that I was really excited about. And he said he asked Panos, like, when he finally got to talk to him about it, he was basically like, which he also said he didn't understand the story. And Panos was like, but you were in Chronicles of Riddick. Like,
yeah, that
what are you
was
talking
pretty
about?
funny.
And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, so he asked him, he's like, do I have to do this? And he's like, no.
He's like, I just write it in
I
there
just
for
write
any
it.
reason.
Yeah, he's like, I write it in because it fits with what's going on in my flow. Like,
what the
when I'm writing
character's
story.
like.
Yeah, he's like, it's not something that you have to do, essentially. And, and Nicolas Cage was like, yeah, I was surprised you kept reading, like, after you got to that part with the dick scene or whatever. And it was
Well, no,
funny.
I think Kevin Smith said that.
No, was it? I thought it was
Yeah, it was
Nicolas
Kevin
Cage.
Smith. Kevin Smith said, he was like, I'm surprised you kept reading after that. He's like, that's why Nick didn't want to do the part.
Didn't want to do it. That's why Nick said no. But eventually he was like, when it came to that moment, when they were getting ready to film that part, he said he thought of female actresses, and if they were in his shoes and they were presented with this moment, would they turn it down because of that? And he like brought up Margot Robbie specifically in her role in Wolf of Wall Street, and she said it was right for my character for me to be nude. And he was like, you know what? It's right for my character to do this. And,
And he's
but he was
right,
like, but
yeah.
I don't know about the jacking off part. And so they were going to like omit the jacking off part. And this is the point where I was like, he showed his fucking dick? Like, I smacked Malice and I'm like, did he show his fucking dick? And he's like, yeah, you were in the bathroom. I'm like, God fucking damn it. Like, are you serious? Like, that's what I missed? Like, the one time I have to go pee. And then they're talking about the jack off part. I'm like, did he fucking jack it off too? And Mouse is like, yeah. And I'm all, motherfucker.
Well, and it's funny too because like
so
later on,
pissed.
like Kevin.
And I came back right when he was done doing that, by the way.
Yeah, it was right at it.
I came in right when she was fucking laughing.
So
And I'm all,
at the very end of it, Kevin Smith asked him, by the way, Panos. He was like, so what's next, And Panos, like, the thing in his mind was like, well, I'll probably just go sit and watch movies or just chill at home. And he was like, no, I mean, like, movies. Like, I got a couple of ideas. We were speculating on this. Like, what genre not genre, like, what slice of fucked up Panos style movie would you like to see? Like, what area? I would say in space. Something like Aliens or something, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm totally down with the science fiction movie.
I think it would be kind of cool. It doesn't have to be like cheesy fucking alien, like, you know what I mean? Like, it could just be like space or aliens in general, abduction.
What about you, Mouse?
Yeah, I like the space idea.
Mouse loves aliens.
Aliens are cool.
I think so. I would definitely like to see him do something a little bit more. I mean, like you said, Beyond the Black Rainbow is kind of a sci-fi movie in a way. It's a sci-fi thriller.
Very sci-fi thriller. Very
Ish.
sci-fi to me. It's very science fiction.
Yeah, because like the girl has special powers.
Not
or
even
she
just
can,
that. It's the whole premise to me feels very sci-fi.
Well, yeah, But I would definitely like to see something a little bit more like Videodrome, where it's like, you know what I mean? Like where it's more like television taking over the mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Like something like that would be really cool to see.
I
like,
want to see him do like a just flat out fucking horror movie.
Yeah.
So down.
I mean, he's done the...
and he could fucking do it. And he would
the hell
slay the
creatures.
shit out of it too. I feel like he would fucking kill it. Like I would be so excited for that.
We got to talk about some spoiler section now, just like different scenes that we liked and stuff, and then we'll wrap it up. So, like, what are some parts that you think were really, really fucking fun? And guys, literally, if you've not listened to this, or if you've not seen this fucking movie, don't listen!
You're scaring your puppy who
Sorry,
I'm loving
Marie.
right now.
Sorry.
And he's killing me because he's so cute.
But yeah, we're going to ruin this for you if you do, so don't be stupid, all right? Fucking listen to me.
So I loved, I mean, it's not a fun scene by any means, but the conversation that they're on the couch, like, and they've been sleeping or whatever, and it's just static on the TV, and it's Mandy and Red. And she starts this conversation with him because he was obviously having some nightmare, and she wants to know what the nightmare is about. And he's like, I don't know, I can't remember. And she asks him, did I ever tell you about the starlings? And he's like, no, what the fuck are you talking about?
They're
Basically,
birds,
like,
right?
Yeah, they're birds. Which there's a reference to that in Hannibal.
Oh, okay.
Hannibal Lecter, Starling.
By the way, there's
Anyway.
a lot of nods to different movies
A lot
in
of
this.
different movies. Yeah, a lot of different ones. So then she proceeds to tell him this story about growing up as a kid. There was all these starlings that lived in trees like nearby their house or whatever, which these little birds, and she thought they were cute and they were beautiful creatures, and her dad fucking hated them for whatever reason, and she never understood why. And all of a sudden he comes, she's playing with a group of kids, and he comes with this sack that's full of baby starlings and a crowbar, and basically like tells these kids how to kill all of these starlings. And as she's telling the story, like, it was interesting to watch his face during it. And you can tell his heart's just like breaking for her, and he's already so in love with her.
Well, he almost wonders if she would have done it.
Yeah, he kind of wants, like, he literally asks, he's like, well, what did you do?
Yeah. And it's almost like, it's like that moment you have.
And I wanted to know.
Right. It's like that moment you have with your significant other where you're
are you a fucking psychopath?
What kind of person are they?
Yeah, you're just like, hang on a second. Like, split, what the fuck? Like,
because,
did you fucking do it? Like,
she talks about it like...
the detail.
Like how the starling goes into the mud like it's a little grave.
It's like a little grave. Yeah, she sounds like a psychopath.
When I was watching that moment, and I like that scene too, I was thinking to myself, like, they could have shown this very easily, shown some sort of like disturbing imagery at that point in time.
I'm so glad they didn't.
Or even just showing the fucking, like this kid smacking the ground.
They weren't even like, it was literally the camera's focused on her telling the story the entire time, and I couldn't look at the screen.
But the way that it was told, it was like you really envisioned it.
It was like reading a book.
It was almost just as effective as if you were to see it.
Right.
But more tasteful.
That's why I love it, because to me, that's why I love reading a good book, because reading a good book, you create the vision in your mind of what you're reading. So it's like you create your own movie. And that's why I love about books so much. And so her telling this story it just created this vision. Like, it was so literal, and it was just insanely beautiful. And to me, I couldn't even look at the screen when she was telling the story. Even though it's just her and him in the fucking living room as she's talking, I can't look at the screen when she's talking about how these birds are getting fucking killed with a crowbar. I'm looking at the fucking floor the whole time when she's talking about it, because it's like breaking my fucking heart. And I'm like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, and then if you have a shitty dad, it makes you think about how your dad is shitty. So for me, I'm just like, oh my God, my dad's a shitty person too. So I'm like, fuck, man. Like, he does fucked up stuff too. And I don't know. It was just really cool. It was a cool moment. I mean, it's not a fucking fun scene by any means. It's a really sad scene, actually. But then you get to see their relationship, like, and their dynamic and how much they fucking love each other. And then it's a cool moment too where you get to find out, did she kill a starling? Is she a fucking crazy person? You know, It's like, it creates this separate, like, story between the two of them.
A lot of the actors, when they were talking, they had really good, like, dialogue, like a real good story. That's why I was saying, when you left, I was actually really into the way... I did
like that scene, too.
How he was articulating how he was trying to get into her head and make her be a part. Because in the movie, they, like, show her... They, like, dose her with acid and then have her sting her neck with this fucking...
weird bee thing?
What the fuck was that thing?
I don't know, but it was gross.
It was, like, dipped in acid and, like... It was, like... I mean, like, I which I didn't mention too much in the spoiler-free part, but... Yeah, they were like, there was a lot of drugs in this movie. Dude, like, fucking that one scene with fucking Drake, who fucking Rob Zombie always uses, that in Richard Brake, the chemist. He was literally dipping his hands in acid.
Yeah.
To dip the fucking paper,
yeah.
the blotter paper in acid and not giving a fuck.
With his pet fucking, like, tiger.
Right. He's like, later, Lizzie.
And they have, like, I love that scene. It's so fucking funny to me. Like, it was just cute because they had this whole conversation where Nicolas Cage says nothing.
And that was fucking cool.
And he doesn't talk the entire scene, but...
He's communicating with him because of the acid.
He knows what he's saying, and it was so
I've had that thought on stuff. Oh, never mind.
On acid, yeah. Well, like, I'm sorry, but the whole time I watched this movie, I was like, I just want to smoke a bunch of fucking weed and watch this movie. Like, I can't even imagine how chill it would be.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of a dark trip though. Yeah. Like, wouldn't it?
I don't care.
Yeah, it started out all right.
It could kind of turn you a little bit.
I'm okay with that. I don't want to drop acid and watch this movie. I just want to smoke some weed.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, this movie is very. You'd be like couch locked and fucking mentally fucking disabled.
Murray, what do you mean?
What's the scene that stood out for you other than the dick?
That was your favorite
I think we've
part.
had enough dick conversation for the whole episode.
That's why you held it from me.
That was my favorite part. No, I actually, I like the scene where Nicolas Cage, like, when he gets back after Mandy's dead, and, like, he's freaking out and he's, like, drinking.
Oh, my
and he's,
God,
like, going crazy, and he's just, like, chugging, and then he sits down And he's like crying and he's screaming and yeah, it's just like
it's like he's like trying to like it was like he was trying to trick himself into being angry.
yeah.
And like it was like the transition from sadness. You know how they always say
he went through every stage of grief.
Yeah, every stage of grief in this bathroom.
You know in 7
Yes.
where it's like what's in the box?
What's
that
in the
part where he's
what's
like
in the box? He says it 100 different ways.
Yeah. Like he's mad and then he's crying and then he's mad.
He went through. He cycled through every stage of grief in that moment, and I'm so like that was going to be my next one that we talked about if no one else brought it up before me. So I'm glad that you did because I love that scene. That's my favorite scene with Nicolas Cage in the entire movie.
We got to talk about there was
so good.
You said 7. The first thing that popped into my head when the bigger fucking Black Skull fucking demon had the fucking he fucked me, he made me fuck her because the fucking black demon's got a fucking razor cock.
I just thought of Rance.
Why?
I just thought of Rance because Rance always has a big fucking like slicey dick that he grinds on all the time. Like I'm just like, God damn it,
dude! That thing was
Rance.
like, it was literally,
it was amazing.
It was like,
and it was bloody and gross.
It was like 3 feet long. Like I was like, Jesus Christ!
Like, where was that in the other scene with the guy?
How the fuck did the motherfucker lean over to do coke?
That's what I thought. Like it just went straight into the ground. How do you not get stuck?
Yeah, well, it does get stuck in the crowd. That was
that's
pretty
how he
funny.
Dies. I know it's cool.
Dude, the fights with the fucking demons were really cool.
Those are the best ones. The best like fight scenes.
And I love the voice that they used for them, like the like
it was
garbled,
cool.
Like they were always dripping like this fucking they were drink. What was the shit that they were drinking?
LSD.
No, that was silvery shit was like something else.
But he had a fucking trip after he did it, so that's what we thought it was some type of LSD.
Well, it definitely was, but this was like more like I think it was just the higher dosage. These demons were literally fucking
I thought it was blood, but then we saw it was like this silver concoction
semen or something.
I don't know. I thought I just asked Mouse. I was like, so is that some weird liquid LSD? Because when Nicolas Cage literally just barely dipped his finger in it and then licked it, he had a fucking insane ass acid
right.
trip.
No. I mean, I definitely was LSD, but I'm saying this was like to the 15 billionth degree.
Yeah,
like these.
They said that though.
Yeah, the demons. What I was getting at is the demons were drinking jars, full jars of this shit. He literally touches it with his finger, just a little dab, and puts it on his tongue, and is gone instantly. Like and becomes a demon in some way, I guess. But they were drinking it, and it was always slathering out of their masks or their face and shit. So
but that's part of what the story behind them. That the guy, the dude that Nicolas Cage gets the crossbow and stuff from, when he's telling the story about
that was a really cool scene.
That scene is amazing, and I love the conversation that they have. And that actor is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is Bill Duke.
Yeah.
He plays Carruthers. He was really good in that.
He's great. And he's in it for like not even 5 minutes and he's fantastic. But that's like he comes and gets these weapons from him and he tells the story of the Black Skulls and explains them and their background. And he says, they were this biker gang that ran drugs and sold LSD for this dealer, which we meet later, which is the dude that's in all the Rob Zombie movies. And he says that, and then one day he cooked them up this special batch of LSD, and they took it, and they had never been right in the head since, and now they need it.
Right.
And that's what it is. Like, that LSD in the jar, like, that they have, that's the fucking LSD that these demons need. At least that's what I gathered from it. And
yeah,
so
no.
That's like their lifeblood, and that's why when he gives it to him before he summons them to get Mandy.
Right, but I just meant like what? I mean, I understand it's LSD, okay, but I mean like it looked like semen, and I've never seen any drug like that. So they were trying to make some new drug. It was
this weird fucking like silvery.
The part you miss with Carruthers, who Bill Duke played,
said it's Jeffrey.
Who's Jeffrey?
What's that movie? This is a weird tangent, but it's a guy with frizzy hair. Rub the furry walls.
Oh, Russell Brand.
Yes, that guy. It's Jeffrey in that movie, right?
Oh,
the drug they take.
Jeffrey, rub the furry walls.
Oh, good call.
Get him to the Greek.
Yeah, that
one.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Movie is fucking ridiculous.
The part that you forgot that I thought was really fucking funny. One of the funniest moments in the movie is when fucking Bill Duke's character Carruthers is like, because like Red, who's played by Nicolas Cage, goes into his trailer and clearly he's left his weapons there. He used to have a darker lifestyle, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he was some hitman or some shit, and he goes in there to get his, what did he call it? Like the interceptor or some shit like
I
that.
can't remember the name of his crossbow.
He has a crossbow,
kills
which he
me.
uses a few times, but it's more significant than it really should have been. But it was funny because like he's like, yeah, I'm going hunting again. He was like, well, if you're going hunting again, you might need those things up there. He's like, what you hunting? And he's like, well, fucking just crazy evil fucking Jesus freaks. And he was like, I didn't even know that was in season right now.
In season right now. Yeah. Jesus
I
freaks.
was like, what the fuck?
I didn't even know they was in season.
Yeah,
I was like,
that
God, amazing.
Like-
so good.
It really, like, some of the dialogue in this movie really did just feel like Rob Zombie in a way. Not 100%. It's a little bit more articulated than fucking Rob Zombie's fuck every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, you fucking cunt,
he
bitch, ass
loses
cunt,
it a little
fucking
bit.
bitch, fuck you, no, fuck you, fuck.
Tutti fucking fruity. There's
Yeah.
no tutti fruity in your fucking future.
Dude, in what was the movie? Was
There
it?
will be no ice cream in your fucking future.
In 31, Rob Zombie's movie, they literally, the first 10 minutes are in the fucking, in the van or whatever the fuck. It's literally just cocksucker
Yeah,
motherfucker.
It's all of his movies.
Yeah, but that one's really bad.
That
like,
one is exceptionally
it's
bad.
like that's like the bar has been set for the highest ever.
Yeah, he was just going for it.
It's
at
like
that time.
obligatory
Like,
bad,
yeah,
you know?
it gets annoying. Like, and then shit like that, it pisses me off. So I'm
Kind
like,
of took me out of the movie. Anyway.
right.
But what's his name? Bill Brake, Richard Brake in 31 really shines in 31. Like the best I think he ever has. And I think that role in particular is what got him into this movie, is because as the chemist, which I thought he was really good, but
He was cute.
I really like what you were saying, like how he was like having a conversation with him, even though
Nicolas Cage says nothing.
he was just
and
staring at him the whole
it's so
fucking
good.
time.
And he's talking about his stupid tiger. He's like, oh, that's Lizzie. You know it's good when she's quiet.
Yeah. And then they had that scene where the fucking the tiger growls really loud in front of the like moon, and it looks like
It's so
looks
fucking
straight out-
Walmart 80s t-shirt.
Right, like what the fuck?
Except it's a tiger, not a wolf. I was like, now at Walmart. So
The
cute.
so the other scene, there is one more scene. Did you guys want to point one out, or
I feel like Mal should have to talk about another one.
I did mine already. It's your turn.
there's got to be another
Give
one
us
that you
another
remember?
scene, please.
I like the whole thing. That one scene was the one that really stuck with me. But I like fancy colors. Why are you chewing on things?
I don't know. I love you. Moving on.
I love you.
Well, there was one scene that I want to mention, and it's the very, very, very end. And for those of you who have seen the movie, then you will know. Like, when he throws that girl's head at the feet of fucking Jeremiah Sand, I was like, hell fucking
I hated
yeah.
that bitch. I was so glad he fucking killed her.
She deserved it more than anyone, just
Yeah, she
about
did.
it.
She
He
was
let
fucking
that
horrible.
one girl go, though.
I know, and I love that because she had nothing. She literally was like
A captive.
a captive. Like,
And
she
he
had
knew
no...
He could see it in her eyes when she pulled
She
the...
cried.
There was that scene was cool too, but the very
scene
end
was
scene
cool.
where Jeremiah Sand is trying to act tough, and then he's scared. He's like, "Please don't kill me! Please don't kill me!" He's like trying to like get in his head, but he can't because basically Red Miller, Nicolas Cage's character, is just fucking the embodiment of fucking evil at this point in time. He has become revenge incarnate, and like he is out for blood no matter what. And I don't really understand the end, so to speak, but. You know, but the character Jeremiah Sand and Linus plays, he did a really good job there. He's like, "I'll suck your dick, man. What do you
suck
want?"
your dick, man. Oh my god. I will suck. Please don't kill me. I will suck your cock. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Oh my god, I laughed so
No,
hard.
fuck you. You
you-
kneel
Yeah,
before
you
me.
kneel before me. Like, he literally, like, he like goes through all these different stages again of like acceptance, like where he's just like he accepts it, and then he bargains with him,
Right.
and then he's just rage. And
Well,
then
that's just
he's
how
like-
manipulative the
and
guy
it was
is,
fucking
yeah.
cool. Like, I loved that shit. And he's like, you know what? No. I don't kneel before you. You kneel before me. I am God or whatever. Like, I am the savior or whatever the fuck he says. And then Nicolas Cage is just like,
Pops his head with a fucking like
I
a pimple.
am your God. And I'm like, I'm your God now. And I'm just like, yes, you are, Nick Cage.
It was a little
You're my
hard.
God.
It was a little hard to hear him though because like
It was kind of muffly.
yeah, it was like bassy and like
they gave him kind of like one of the demon biker voices or something. It was weird.
Right. Yeah, I think it was just because he had become so rage.
He's a horrible person now. So
right. Well, and then he drives off into the triple sunset.
I loved it.
Which was like a panorama or like some sort of like double-sided magazine of heavy metal where you see the like background is like 3 moons and
I love how it ended. I love how it ended so much. Like,
I didn't
it was
like
so fucking
maybe
ridiculous.
they were on Jupiter.
Oh, is that what it was?
I kind of feel like that might have been what it is.
Well,
yeah.
I think so because like she did say that was her favorite planet.
That's his favorite planet.
No.
Oh, hers. You're right, because of the storm that's always raging around it or whatever. You're right.
There was a lot of tropes of like hell, getting out of hell or going into hell. I couldn't figure out if he was going in or getting out, or I wasn't really sure.
He was in and then he got out.
We got to talk about that thing that we were talking about, the out of order thing where they kill all the demons first.
Yeah, like what was up? Like to me, I was like, God, what the fuck? Like I felt
Save
like
the best for last.
Well, I knew Jeremiah Sand was going to be last because he should be. He basically orchestrated his, him watching his wife get burned alive, which was horrible.
Yeah, that was pretty.
That scene was fucking horrible.
I didn't hear her scream though
because she's passed out. I don't know if they
killed
her,
like she was
she's
moving
jerking
around
or whatever, but they probably had her mouth wrapped up or whatever. I don't know.
Well, they had the music going.
The music
the
was
whole
loud.
time,
You couldn't hear him screaming either, so I think that was the point.
Right.
So but that scene was just fucking insanely amazing and heartbreaking. But yeah, so he goes for the fucking demon biker creatures first, and I'm like, no, you don't fucking do that. Like, are you serious? Like, you're gonna go for the least threatening people first, and then you go after the fucking hellspawn. Like, no,
well, and then
it was like a weird.
The first one he shoots, the one with the spikes.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
He was the slowest one.
Yeah, but
that was why he ended up shooting him.
I get that, but like when he goes to hit him with the car flips.
No, he hit him with the car, and that's what made his car flip.
Right, but you don't show anything.
Yeah, they didn't finish that.
Right, and then there was like a fourth demon at the end that he shot in the neck, and it just pulls the dart out.
Well, and then he chopped his head off, and then he lit a cigarette off the burning head. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
By the way, I was like, yes! Like, I was trying not to scream, like, in that moment, because it was so fucking cool. But I didn't remember there being a fourth demon, and I had to think back, and I was like, no, there was. There was like a fourth one. He just didn't go in the house. He was in he's like the leader or whatever of them.
Okay, the fact that he's killing the most dangerous things in the movie, right? The ones that the sect actually hire to kidnap Mandy, right? Because they couldn't do it themselves.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was a little weird that they did decide to kill the demons first, because then it's like, well, there's no one going to stop him now, so it's pretty inevitable.
Right, and that's why I felt like it kind of wrapped the story up before it was over, and it was a little frustrating, but at the same time, I was like, nah.
Whatever.
Like, I don't really care.
Well,
like,
at
it was
that
still
point,
cool, but I felt like there should have been more of a battle between, like, these are fucking, like, hellspawn. Like, I know they're technically supposed to be just regular humans.
Right.
But they're, like, superhumans, you know what I mean? But he killed them very easily, and I felt like they should have had more of a, like, climactic moments, like, killing them, which would have been dope. But
you didn't like the fact that
the one at the end was the best.
You didn't like the fact that they didn't show their faces very much.
I wanted to see them in a little bit better light.
I kind of liked it.
I liked it. Like, I did. Like, I love that. I love that they kept it the way that they did. But me, like, looking at it from, like, a makeup standpoint and a costuming standpoint, I wanted to see more light shed on it.
I think there's a little
intrigued.
bit. I think it's a little bit more risk when you do that, and I don't think that's why they didn't show their face, because I'm sure they could have come up with something really cool and unique. But I think making them faceless made them more of like
scary
monsters.
Yeah. But I get the choices. Like, I absolutely get the choices that they made, and I stand by them. I think that was the right decision. I'm being selfish in the fact that I'm just like, I wanted to see them better because I wanted to see the costuming.
Which of the demons did you guys like the most? Like, if you had to pick one.
The last dude. He was a badass.
I thought so, but I also liked the one that was either like the skinny
the big dick one.
I like the skinny one because he was like,
he was cool. Yeah, he's the one I'd want to cosplay if I was gonna cosplay any of those. I'd want to do him because he had that cool like completely see-through like full mask on.
It was like white and gray,
but it looked like smoke was inside of it. Like, it looked like somebody took a big hit of a vape and blew it inside of his clear plastic mask is what it looked like to me. And then he had like shit dripping from it, and he was cool.
What about you?
Same one, actually. Yeah.
It's not that I didn't like how they felt very beatable.
They did,
But-
except for the big one, the one with the big dick, the spiky one.
Right, but that one in particular was the creepiest in my opinion because it was like
He was the
just
creepiest.
constantly drooling all that fucking acid, and it's like, what the fuck?
He was the creepiest by far.
Yeah,
And then
I like the
silver one that he killed
spiky
at the
one
end.
too, but he kind of died real
He
quick.
pussed out real fast. Him and the big dick dude pussed out real quick. I'm like the two most threatening ones like were killed the simplest.
Right, and they were all like in a row too. Like,
Yeah, it was like bam dead, bam dead, bam dead, bam dead. I'm like, what?
it's like no,
But I want more. Like extend that out, please.
Right.
Like all of the death scenes are really fast,
I really wonder if like
except for Jeremiah Sands.
I really would have asked that, but that probably would have been impolite if I was there. So was there a reason why you chose to kill the demons off first?
I want to know why.
I mean, because that kind of takes away from it a little bit because of the inevitability. You know what I mean? Like there should be, and just this is the story thing again. The inevitability of him going to kill those people was, you knew the destiny, but you know, maybe he wanted you to feel. The writers wanted you to feel like you already knew it was going to happen anyway. And it was more of a bloodlust.
Exactly. Like I feel like they, and you know what, and you end up not caring.
It's like I almost feel like it should have been like, well, maybe he won't survive, but really he didn't want that.
I kept waiting.
He was like, let's just fucking kill everything.
Like I kept waiting, honestly, and like I really thought at the end, like when he was driving away, that the chick that he let live was gonna pop up from the back seat and like shoot him in the head or something.
Right.
And you know what? That would have been fucking dope.
I mean,
I really thought that was gonna happen, and I was like, he's gonna die. Like someone's gonna kill him, and it's gonna be that girl he let go. And when you watch, she's probably the craziest one, and then sequel. Or something. I don't know. But it didn't happen, and I was actually glad that it didn't. Like, I thought it was going to, but I was glad that it didn't, because I thought it was a nice wrap for that story.
I think so. I really am. I'm really happy that I got to see this. I think it met my expectations. It didn't succeed them in some ways, and it did in others. So it's really hard. Like, I think I need to watch it again in like my own personal environment where, you know what I mean? Because I felt like I was a little distracted. Oh, I'm definitely
I'm
buying
it the second I can buy it. Like I'm fucking buying it. I need to own this movie and own it forever, and I'm gonna watch it all the time.
I was definitely surprised by some of the choices. I didn't think they were gonna go silly and schlocky. Like we did. Like one of the Christina's favorite things was the fucking what was the macaroni goblin?
Oh my god, the green cheesy goblin thing. Oh, I loved it.
Dude, it was puking on kids.
It was disgusting.
It was puking macaroni and cheese on top of kids' heads. Like, what the fuck?
And then at the end, like, it's supposed to be appealing. It's like this, it's a full thing of mac and cheese, and then this fucking scary ass goblin head
Pops
starts
up behind
appearing slowly through this, like, bowl of mac and cheese. And I'm just like, ew! Like, what the fuck is that? The shit was funny. I love that they took it and did some stupid frat boy jokes in there. Like I didn't care. It was funny. It broke.
I don't
up,
think it was
like,
necessarily frat boys. I think it was just.
like,
I think he was trying to show.
well, like that kind of like jokes though.
Well,
you know
no.
what
I mean,
like,
let me explain. Panos was saying that he was thinking of 1983 of him sitting in front of his television, and that's what he thinks of. So seeing a commercial on the TV where the goblin comes up out of the thing, and just how weird commercials were back there to you as a kid, like he just wanted to make his own. And the name of the fucking macaroni and cheese was Devane, which is a fucking joke that I watch some streamer say, and he's like, "Yo, you ever heard of Devane?" The vein on his dick?
oh my god,
I'm not joking. So, like, I wonder if that's like a real thing, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's like somebody's last name and I just completely shit all over them. Anyway, guys, if you've seen the movie, then you probably made it this far. If not, why did you do this? Why would you do this? But either way, for either of you out there, what did you guys think of this movie? Do you think we're spot on? Did you enjoy the things that we liked? Did you have questions about some of the things that we also had questions about? But thanks for coming on, Mouse. It was fun. I wish we could go see more movies together.
With, like, 10
When are you
minutes.
guys moving down here? Like, when does that happen?
Never.
God damn it.
Because I'm still working at my job, and now I'm at my college. It's like right down the street.
Right, yeah,
So,
that's going to be
not
a little
for a while.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was nice to have you on, Mouse, and we'll definitely have you on again, so I'm sure, in the future.
Yes.
So, but Other than that, guys, thanks for stopping by this week. Let us know what you think of the movie in the comments below. Don't spoil anything for people, please. And we'll be back next week. We'll be watching Bloodfest and another horror comedy called Slice. And as always,
Stay weird, monsters.
You have been listening to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. Tune in every Monday for a brand new episode.